Anita here from the Speech Case Side Up podcast and blog. I'm here with Daniel, a good friend of mine. I used to work with him. So Daniel's going to tell us about PRC today and what's cool and new. So Daniel, what is PRC?
All right, so PRC stands for Pancreatic. We were a company out of in the AAC field for over 50 years. Our real desire is to support clients who are in need of technology not only to communicate but also access their environment. So our devices are developed not only for the vocabulary systems that we have, but also thinking about how they're going to access it, whether they need to use their hands, if they need to use a switch, need to use eye gaze, or even other access methods that are appropriate that would be able to not only communicate but also access their environment.
And who are these devices appropriate for?
Really anybody who needs them. So whether you are an adult maybe who has an acquired disorder, for whatever reason you've been diagnosed with an accident that happened in your lifetime that has rendered you non-able to communicate. So maybe they need something that's more text-based. They don't necessarily need pictures per se, but something that's more text-based that you and I would use to be able to not only communicate but also email, and you can use phone calls, being able to communicate with somebody that's near their phone and being able to Bluetooth that to your phone. So a number of different things outside of what we typically say with just pictures, but more than just that. You know, looking at it from the standpoint of what do they need to be able to communicate effectively that they've lost and now are able to use with our devices. For children, so we're looking at language development, their ability to communicate and learn language. Our Unity system in particular is developed with the idea of learning language, so that they can start off with a system that's starting off with single words, but then developing language over a period of time to become a fluent communicator. So really that angle we look at it from the point of view of not only communicating, but learning language, having that for a lifetime to be able to communicate throughout their entire lifespan.
Yeah, that's great. PRC has such a variety of devices, communication solutions. So what's cool and new at ATIA? I know this is a very exciting year for you guys.
It is. We're really excited to release what's called Empower. So Empower is our beta software. It embeds all of our vocabularies that we've had over the years. So our Unity vocabularies are there. That's currently what we're going to release coming in February, and then we're looking to release more of our vocabularies to tie into that as well. So our Essence vocabulary, our core scanner for scanners, as well as some other features that we're going to be able to share with you later on in the year, which we'll be able to do. So right now I'll give you a quick tour of what that looks like. So this is currently one of our vocabularies. This is Unity 84 sequenced. So basically, traditionally, what everyone's familiar with our products, they're going to see those same things with the vocabulary. What we cleaned up is our toolbox. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of what that looks like. So traditionally, this was a not as intuitive toolbox to utilize in the past, not necessarily user-friendly. So what we've done is we've taken a lot of feedback from a number of people in the field to say, what is it that we really need that's more accessible, just easy to program, so that the therapist doesn't feel like they have to be the ones programming the device. It can be used by the family or by the client themselves. So here's our toolbox. So our settings are very easy to access right now within those user settings. So if we wanted to change the voice, if we wanted to have some features in here that are relevant to what they need, we can do that. Here we can easily just pick one of the vocabularies that we want to be able to show for that individual that needs it. And then we have some other just easy settings that we need to get into. Typically what you would see on any other tablet system, very easy, cut and dry, nothing that we have to figure out and teach. It's putting yourself So another feature that I know that everyone's been really excited about this year is how to edit and really utilize the tools in there to program. So I'm going to go back into the menu here real quick. Vocabulary editor. So basically right now I'm in an edit mode. I can easily navigate to where I want to go, change the vocabulary word, edit something that's really relevant. So I'm going to add something here under the food category. Go in here, and I can simply pick a button, and now I can edit it. Really simple. So I'm not going to necessarily go too much detail with that, but just for you know that I can easily just change and add a button there. But also change the color in the backgrounds. So highlight it there if they really want to show it, just to make sure that they can identify that icon. And what we really like with this in particular is we can also import and use the camera here feature where they can edit it right on that particular icon, not having to go into navigate to other areas. We can take care of that all on that mask. So again, just really dry, very simple, very user-friendly, so that not only will the therapist who's working with it can utilize it, but the family member who wants to go to the program and add maybe a family member a particular food item that they like, it's not going to be as complicated. Really simple. So that's a basic rundown. There's going to be many more features we're going to be adding to that, but at least give you a feel for how much easier it is to use and how much more useful it is to use the program.
Right. And what is this?
That
I'm
is
so
our
excited to see
look
that.
software. Yes, we're really excited about that too. This is our look module for eye gaze. So obviously it's very small, very sleek, and very much, not so much of a piece of it. It's a large piece of it's obvious. I mean, that's there. But the idea basically is to have it utilized very much similar to what we've had before in the sense of all the features that we have as our eye gaze system. So the look module is our newest option for eye gaze. The idea behind it is we've maintained all the features that we really utilize for someone to access eye gaze. So, for example, I'll give you a tour of it so you can kind of take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the toolbox here. I'm going to change our access method. I'm going to go right to eye gaze. So for someone like myself, I'm going to go ahead and stand in the camera so you can kind of see what that looks like. This takes the guesswork really out of how I'm able to know if I'm in the camera field. So I can basically look here. It's already telling me the distance of how far I'm away from the screen, and also right now it tells me that I'm at a good distance. It tells me right off the bat. I'm not guessing, can I eye gaze now or not? It's telling me right here, perfect. So when I'm going to go ahead and calibrate, I'm just going to follow a prompt here for my eyes to make sure I'm calibrated well with the screen. There you go. So that looks pretty good. Although my eyes may or may not be as calibrated the way that I want it at this point because I was looking around.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and calibrate it again so you can kind of see what that looks like. You get distracted with people on the field, so I got to make sure I'm looking.
It is distracting. But I love how quick it was, too.
There we go. All right. So now I can just go right in and utilize the eye gaze feature.
So you're doing that with your eyes in the toolbox.
So really easy. So this is 84 icons on the screen.
And look how tiny they are. And this is so tiny too, but you're so accurate in where you're looking.
Finish the sentence here real quick. Now add a nest just to make sure I'm
Yeah.
there we go. So all that with my eyes. And there's the message that I created there on the top. And if I want to, I can also pause the screen. And that gives me a chance just to look around if I needed to without having to access the screen. And then just reach in and track again.
That allows it to be more, functionally independent for the person that's using it. They can pause and unpause.
And we've also maintained our feature that we have with our eye gaze devices, which is our Tomoko software. We've partnered with a company called Tomoko, so they obviously outside of communication, we want to be able to train the user to use their eyes. So maybe this is something we want to start with to get them familiar with accessing with their eyes. Maybe this is something they're doing for the first time, knowing that this is where we're going to utilize their access method for their communication. So we can do that here. Give it a second to load.
You can pause it.
All right, so Tomoko basically has a number of different levels. So for me as a clinician, what I'm looking at is, do I want to start them off with a very basic elementary level for them to be able to just activate the screen? So I'm not really looking at having to control too much. I want them just to be able to get a sense of something's happening on the screen. So something like this, we're on group 1 is basically, I'm going to look at the screen and something's going to happen. So I'm going to go and play the game here real quick. I'm just looking at the screen, there's colors happening there, so I'm making something happen. So I may not know exactly how I'm doing it just yet, but I'm kind of getting a sense of I'm looking and I want to train that ability for that client to be able to differentiate. I'm looking at the screen and something's happening. So very errorless in learning. I can click around. I have to sign this later because it could be really famous. All right, so for me as a clinician, I'm looking at that just to see, okay, they're looking, I'm kind of essentially looking on either side. Good, that's great. So now I want to maybe move up the challenge a little bit and have a little bit more control where it's cause and effect, but now we have a little bit more of a purpose. I'm gazing towards things around the screen with more purpose here. So I'm going to move up a little bit to this next game. So now I have to physically look around the screen and activate or look at the target there. So I'm making some things happen. So again, giving that feedback, it's fun. I'm playing a game, there's feedback in there as far as just the sounds, kind of played like a typical video game. But again, have a purpose for me as a clinician, making sure that they're activating and kind of getting an idea of where everything tweaks we need to make for access.
Yeah, and it progressively gets harder and harder, but that increases their eye gaze
Correct.
skills as well.
Correct. So I can even go up to something even more difficult than that, which would be our level 4. So this is where I'm really looking at full control. So now I'm really making not only the access happening, but now I'm making purpose movements around the screen with more complexity.
Okay.
Right. So I'll give you an example here. This is what we're kind of playing with the access games over there. I'll start this up here and see how good I do with this. I've had some practice today. So I'm controlling the guy here that's on a space surfboard, and I had to go through a bit of an obstacle course here.
So it's like a video game for your eyes.
Exactly. So here I have to make him bend down to get through that target. All right. There we go. So it requires a little bit more, again, control in my eyes, but again, it helps me reinforce. I'm going to get hit there. Reinforce my ability to kind of really fine-tune my control over the device and have it be successful.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So if people want to learn more about PRC,
Absolutely.
Where can they get information?
So our website is printrom.com. So if you look up or just look up PRC-Saltillo on our website or on Google, you can find us that way as well. So printrom is PRENTROM.com, printrom.com.
And you guys have a pretty active Facebook group.
We do. So we can look up on Facebook. We also have our AAC Language Lab, which is a great resource for therapists and families to utilize, as well as a resource we have. We also have a YouTube channel. So if you go to PRC Access, there's tons of videos there of actual individuals using our products and devices, and resources there for therapists and families to learn more about our products, but also help program and some of those things they might need to do. Just simple questions that might need to be asked. They have videos here to help explain those.
Great. Thank you so much, Daniel.
My pleasure. Good to see you again.